Blackburn Rovers make the trip down to London this Tuesday, but today it's transfer deadline day. Will there be new additions to the club heading into a massive game this midweek? We'll talk about that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again in another video today. It's all about Blackburn Rovers taking on QPR at Loftus Road, and we'll get to that in a second. If you knew where you've been, hit the old subscribe. You want stop shop for Blackburn Rovers Championship World Football. We're going to all hear under one Ruski. That's right. We already announced a signing on Friday, of course, Augustus Carbo was announced, but is that it? Of course, we'll see as the day progresses, but also on the agenda, it is QPR at their gaff. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. And if you're new, hit the subscribe, guys. So let's get into it. We are running out of time. Game is about 24, 36 hours away. And it is QPR against Rovers in a staggered championship schedule this week. Of course, games starting on Tuesday and they'll end, I think, on Sunday, all in the same bracket. We'll see all that in a little bit. Let's take a look at the game then under the microscope. Now, this is under over the history books. There we go. Spit it out. Under the history books. 34 times we have played QPR. QPR have only won 6. That's stretching back since 1993. Rovers winning 20 of them. There's been 8 draws between the two sides. QPR do have a 4-2 win on their record. That's their biggest result against us. They scored 25 goals in those 34 games and 0.74 goals a game on average. As for Rovers, we've won 20 of them. Their biggest was a 4-0 win, and we've scored double the amount of goals that QPR have done in this fixture. That's 50, averaging 1.47 goals a game. Now, both sides coming into this on a pretty shitty kind of form, 50% form for them and us. They're coming into this on back-to-back defeats. We coming into this on the back of a massive morale-boosting win. QPR are 14th for the table, 38 points for the campaign. Rovers are 5th with 45 points. Their top goal scorer has got 5 goals. Ours has got 6. And that's Michael Frey to our Andreas Wyman. Let's take a look then over those last 6 games. Now, these were both at Ewood and at QPR. We did pick up a 2-0 win earlier in the season. That was goals from Travis and Danny Bart. It was, of course, boosted by the sending off of Jonathan Varane. Meanwhile, of course, the reverse fixture, or the last time around they played at their place, it was a 4-0 win for Blackburn Rovers. With Tyree Stone, Sigurdsson, Smolic on the score sheet as well. It has been a good stomping ground, this fixture for Blackburn Rovers, losing just the once in the last 6, both home and away. But if you open it up a little bit and have a little look at the last 6 at Loftus Road, it is 50-50. Rovers have won back-to-back at Loftus Road, scoring 7 goals with conceding just the 1. But it was also a awkward stomping ground for a good period back in the late 2019s and the 20-teens and the early 2020s. So if you open up over the history books, we'll get to that in a minute. But the last 10 looks like this. Again, just 1 win in the last 5-6 there for QPR. So recent 6 looks good for Rovers. Now, the history books, though, show we played each other 40 times. Rovers winning 23, QPR winning 8, and 9 draws. We've scored 60 to their 32 goals, of course, in those games. Let's kick it off. We'll then take a look at the values of the squads. Then now this is pre-transfer window closure. Not sure what QPR are looking around. Hoping Rovers are going to add some players. But we just don't know. 46.35 million euros is the QPR squad value compared to Rovers 49.55. The average player of 1.6 million euros compared to our 1.84. They've got a younger squad than us. We have the same amount of national players. They have more youth national players and more foreigners on their books. As for the coaches under the microscope, Marti Covientes, 42 years of age, 3 years junior, has a better success rate than John Eustace, 1.51 points per match. His record against Rovers, though, is 50-50. He's won 1 and has lost 1. But his record against Eustace is not great. When I say not great, he's only managed against them once, but he did lose. Eustace, on the flip side, has got a 1.49 points per match. He's managed against QPR 4 times, yet to lose, pick up 3 wins and 1 draw. And again, his record against Covientes is 1-1. Out of 1, so pretty good there. As for the players, let's take a look at it then, shall we? We've got Ilias Chairs, the main man, 6 million euro rated, 27 years of age, and he plays right-footed up in the attacking third there. Alongside Tyrone, similar sort of player, similar sort of height, similar sort of, I wouldn't say end product. I definitely would have Ilias Chair in my team. 4 years his junior, though, is Ilias Chair compared to Tyrese. Let's take a look at the teams then, shall we? Heading into the game, of course, QPR looking like this with options. At the back at the moment anyway. We've got Nardi between the sticks. He was, of course, likely to start. Ronnie Edwards been brought in on loan from Southampton. Stevie Cook at the back there. Question marks about Jimmy Dunn, if he'll be here or be here not. Been linked with a move to Sheffield United. So he didn't start the last game. Will he start this one? Coming at you. Well, we'll see. Into midfield, the likes of Sam Field. They've got Ilias Chair. They've got Lucas Anderson. Solid players there. And there's some good, interesting youngsters, including Kieran Morgan, who's been playing quite recently. Up top, likes of Sandkeller, Michael Frey, Paul Smythe, or Smith, depending on how you say it. So I'm going for it for QPR. We've got Nardi between the six, Edwards, Cook, Fox, and Powell. Field, Varane in midfield. We've got Chair, Morgan, and Smith. Michael Frey up top. As for Rovers, updated the old graphic for now. Anyway, Blasov still on the outside looking in. Pairs will be coming in to remain in between the sticks. You've got Owen Beck, Dean Sanderson's in there. Carter's getting closer from recovery from his injury, but you would expect it to be a back four from the same game, that Preston on Friday. Meanwhile, into midfield, it looks like Sixton's going to stay at the moment anyway. He was linked with potential move to QPR, but no new additions at the moment in that midfield department. And up top, we've got likes of Yuki Ohashi, out injured. Magda Gay, of course, has been starting. Harry Leonard was linked with the move elsewhere as well, but it looks like he might be staying. And of course, the new and hopefully exciting Augustus Cargbo is an option. Is he wearing the number 10 shirt? That, of course, will be seen to be believed. Anyway, this is what I've gone for. We've got pairs between six, Britton, Baffheim, and Beck, Travis, Buckley, Wyman, Cantwell, Dolan, and Macdar Gay. That's what I think, but of course it could be nowhere near that. But we'll just have to wait and see what pans out. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the key players for both sides. Jimmy Dunn has been a massive difference maker to QPR, and losing him at this stage of the transfer window would be absolutely bonkers. After him, it's Sandfield in midfield, then it's Stevie Cook, Ryan Coyote, Kenneth Powell in the top five. As for Rovers' five-star men, it is Danny Bart, Callum Britton, Ainsley Pairs, all expected to start. Cantwell could start, and then Tronstad is out for a injury. Let's take a look then at the key numbers heading into this one. On average, QPR picking up a 6.86 on average per player each game. They played 30 times and they scored 33 goals, conceding 39 goals in those matches, averaging 1.1 goals a game compared to Rovers. 30 games played, 34 goals scored, 29 conceded. With 1.1 goals a game as well, with 6.91 on average for Rovers. Poor possession for QPR, 45.4 compared to Rovers 47. 11 clean sheets for us, 7 for them. And of course, we'll go back a bit. 2 red cards for them compared to our 2. Duels won, 51.7 for QPR. Aerial duels, 51.8. Rovers, 50.8. Is the duels and 51% aerial duels. So quite similar stats, but QPR just edged it in that department. Let's take a look then at the possession stats. When in possession, QPR prefer the right to the left, and they are, of course, like Rovers, can be more often found in the defensive third than the attacking third. As for Rovers, their attacking lines are split both left and right, and again, prefer the defensive third to the attacking third. Meanwhile, shots direction, QPR prefer to shoot from the left-hand side to the right, and 7% of their shots are in that 6-yard area, compared to Rovers, who prefer to again shoot from either side, 14%, and 15% of their shots are in the 6-yard area. As for shots received, QPR more often they're not receiving shots from the left, and 56% of the shots received are in the 18-yard box. Rovers again more similar to that, 19% coming down the left-hand side, 58% in the 18-yard area. As for the goals scored, we'll have a look at it right here, right now. 16 goals scored by QPR through open play, 9 set pieces. Wow, that is a massive number. 4 counter-attacks, 3 own goals, and 1 penalty. Goals conceded, 28 through open play, 7 set pieces, 2 counter-attacks, 1 penalty, and 1 OG. Rovers on the flip side, we have scored 23 through open play, just 5 set pieces, 3 counter-attacks, 2 penalties, and 1 own goal. Goals conceded, 18 through open play, 8 set pieces. So already I can see see where the likelihood of QPR scoring will be a set piece. They're very strong in that. We're very weak in defending that. And 3 penalties conceded as well by Rovers, which have been converted. Let's take a look then at QPR's resume coming into this. They're coming into this on the back of successive defeats. One of them was at Millwall. One of them was at Loftus Road. In fact, there's been 3 defeats on the spin. Am I looking at that right? No, I'm not. I'm not looking at that right. Prior to that, big wins against Hull and QPR down the foot of the table. And a win against Luton Town wasn't that far away. Looking forward, of course, QPR taking on Rovers this coming Tuesday. Then they switches to Coventry next Tuesday, and then they get back on track somewhat with Derby, Portsmouth, Sheffield United, and West Brom. So some tricky, awkward games coming at you for QPR, really to define their season. As for Rovers, we're coming into this on the back of that 2-1 over Preston. Prior to that, losses against Coventry and Bristol City, as well as Oxford. So 3 defeats on the spin. Following on from this, we do have an FA Cup jaunt taking on Wolves at Ewood Park. Then it's another Mowbray derby. Then it's Plymouth Argyle on the road. Sorry, not on the road, at Ewood Park. Swansea, Norwich and Derby. So some good opportunities for Rovers to get some points. But again, it's easier. You got to win what's in front of you at the moment. Let's take a look at their home form compared to our away form. Of course, their home form is pretty stellar. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Previously, they'd won 5 on the spin at Loftus Road. Our away form at the moment is pretty shit. Just 1 win the last 5. That was against Borough in the FA Cup. So if you take that out of the equation, the last 4 in the league have all resulted in winless displays for Blackburn Rovers. Let's take a look then at what we can expect from the game. QPR attacking set pieces, coming back from losing position, scoring chances, aerial duels and protecting the lead. Their weaknesses, those scoring chances, keeping the ball keeping possession of the ball, defending against attack down the wings, defending against long shots, defending against skillful players. Their style of play, coming down the right, taking a lot of long shots, playing with width, playing in their own half, playing their offside trap, and they have a consistent first 11. Rovers' strengths, attacking down the wings, aerial duels, protecting the lead, stealing the ball from the opposition. Our weaknesses, though, avoiding fouling in dangerous areas. Our style of play is through balls and playing in our own half with a quite aggressive sort of style. Forecast says Rovers will score from wing play situation and will steal the ball from the opposition quite often. This is the table as of right now. Rovers are 5th, QPR are 14th. A win for the hosts will see them propel up to 11th. A win for Rovers. We could close the door a little bit onto Sunderland, but still a massive gap. And they've also playing tonight, so that could even be a bigger gap, depending on what goes on elsewhere. In fact, we could actually come into this game in 6th spot if Middlesbrough do beat Sunderland today. So we'll see how that transpires. A quick look at the journeys for both Rovers and QPR. Rovers are represented by the blue graphic, kind of been haven't dipped below 10th so far. QPR haven't peaked past 10th so far this season, but that could all change as well very, very soon this coming window. What about the rest of the championship? Well, as I said at the start of the video, it is a bit of a staggered week in the championship with 8 games spread over the course of, let's say 9 games spread over the course of over a week. Here we go then. Of course, Burnley kicking off against Oxford. That's also tomorrow. But today, remember, I believe it's Middlesbrough-Sunderland or Sunderland-Middlesbrough. I don't know which way that is. QPR against Rovers. Of course, that's our focus on Tuesday. We'll have a watch-along on that one. Then on Wednesday, we have Coventry against Leeds. Then we switch over to the weekend. Sunderland-Watford, West Brom Wednesday. Sheffield United against Portsmouth. Norwich against Derby. And Bristol City against Swansea. Of course, Rovers are in cup action. I'm not sure about QPR. Are they in cup action? Let me know down below. What do I think, though, about this game? Well, it's one of those, guys. It is one of those. It is a game that could go either way. QPR can certainly win this. Rovers can certainly win this as well. Of course, QPR's form at home has been pretty good. Of course, they're coming into this on the back of successive defeats. The Rovers do come into this with the tails up, with, of course, a win, a needed one against Preston North End. I think it's definitely it's definitely winnable. Can go either way. I think Rovers need some news. I'm going to be honest with you. I think if we can come into this with a bit of positivity in the transfer market, that will feed not only the fans but also the players. I think they want to see reinforcements. I think there is rumours of a new left back coming in. That should, of course, will give a huge sigh of relief for Owen Beck, who's just been playing game in, game out. So we need bodies. We need players to come in to just provide relief, if not anything else, but also competition. So if we can make some signings, ones that have been touted about, like that left winger, possible striker, possible midfielder, then maybe Rovers can use that momentum and positivity to get something out of this kind of thing. I think QPR will not lose this game. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to actually back Rovers to get a goal and maybe even take a point. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. Sitting on the fence somewhat, but again, you offer this right here right now, I'll take it. QPR and the Cofientes can be decent, but they're also there for the taking as well. So this game is traditionally a good one for Rovers in recent years anyway. So let's hope that continues and maybe we can get something out of this. That's it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I appreciate the love on the channel. Until then, subscribe, smash like, go Rovers, get the transfer window, win it in the final stages. But until then, we are done.